You may begin speaking now.
Ultra Rising, family, Ultra Rising. This is Lord Heka, a.k.a. Solraeljustice, a.k.a. Heka-blac butterfly, a.k.a. You already know who this is, man. It's no need for no introduction. You did. Greetings to everybody out there in the world, man. Happy Moon Day to you. Happy Monday. If you don't know what Moon Day is, I want to start this off okay. Grace and gratitude for everybody. Support. Thank you for, just the fair exchange of energy as far as the law of giving and receiving is concerned. Thank you for my true day ones, A1s out there. You already know who you are. And I pray that everybody is having a greater day and even a greater experience. And I pray that everybody is noticing and being more conscious of their thoughts and how they treat themselves as much as how they treat others. With that being said, all I ask is that you like, share, comment, any way, shape, form, or fashion. A little emoji don't cost you a thing. A little light don't cost you nothing lesser than that. And with that being said, let's get it, y'all. Today's little mini lecture, right? Our title is, Does the Animate Create the Inanimate? Is the universe God? I be going to little classes and group meetings and little stuff like that to try to just keep myself occupied and whatnot. And there was a conversation that arose, and it was the conversation of God, but the person was referring to God as Jesus entity from their perspective, and they were saying that Jesus, the man, created the universe, right? So it was a great topic that we expanded on, and I felt that it was a great topic to kind of break down and bring to the collective and how I handled the situation, so that maybe this can deepen your understanding of our present position, and also this can guide you or show you how to handle a situation just in case you come across something and people want to argue and people want to project their beliefs on you. Now, one thing I want to say is this. I don't have beliefs. I have inner knowings, right? And so I choose not to project my inner knowings on everybody. I just choose to share what I know through my own experience and wisdom, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not out here trying to make you believe and try to prove to you that anything I say is the only way and this and that. I'm not that type. I don't even argue. What am I going to argue with you for? It doesn't make sense. I don't want to argue. I want to know your perspective so that I can add it with my perspective, so that I can gain a greater picture of the entire scenario, so that I can have a multidimensional perspective, because that's who wins the game. The person who holds the multidimensional perspective wins the game of life, because they're not trying to use their ego to separate this form for that form and things like that. Okay, so this is a great topic. So let's revisit some ideas in order to get a greater understanding of our present position. So God, there's a few things. So the person was saying that God is Jesus, which is the man that creates the universe. Now, I understood exactly what they were saying, right? And I'm going to tell you how I received that what was given. So I feel like they're referring to Jesus as the man, which they said, which is the human. Right, the human, whether it be a man or woman, is neither here nor there, right? The human does, right, as the divine base grid programmer, the human is the creator of their own reality. I do understand that based on the width, the length, the depth of this point in time and space, that can only exist through the human, right? Without the human, none of this exists. Right? That's why spirits, demons, people that's doing magic on you, they got to ask you, and you got to accept and allow stuff to work on you, right? But if you are confident in your inner knowing, then you're untouchable. Can't nobody mess with you. And that's on every level, in the spirit and in flesh, okay? So I got what they're saying, the concept. They're saying that the man created the universe. And what I'm saying is that let's not waste time on identifying what's separate between us. And let's spend more time, let's better manage that time on identifying what's alike between us so that we can create masterminds and build greater communities. You feel what I'm saying? Because we can co-create, and we can coexist, even if we have different perspectives. So I hope that this shows somebody today that you ain't got to argue with nobody to get your point across. And you ain't got to accept what nobody else is feeding you neither. But it's good to try to understand your perspective and another's, right? It's just good to try to understand so that you can win, all right? So now, from my perspective, right, God is a name of an entity that which creates everything based on what they've taught us, right? But then the higher perspective to me, I realized that God is the creator. God is the magician, right? God is anybody. But if God is anybody, God is mostly a children or a child because they are the masters of manifestation. They are the masters of creators and creation. And they are the endless possibility, right? They are the future. So that's what I would say generally. But I understood where they was coming from with this thing, but they were saying that God created the universe, so the universe can't be God. That's where we came in with the discussion. So this is how I feel, right? I feel like God is a name, and a name can be created. For example, your father and a mother, and you're having your child, you're pregnant, the wife is 8 months pregnant, so the father and the mother is now picking names for their child, right? They're now creating names. So they choose not to go with a name that's already been used before on this planet or a vibration. They choose to put their higher spirits together and create a higher vibrational name because they feel that the baby that they're bringing through is high vibrational energy. Okay, so they want a name that matches the energy that's going to manifest through that baby. So with that being said, a name is something that is created. So God, the name of the energy, is that was created. So if the universe is something that's created, then God is something that's created too. So I think that the power that we're referring to is beyond what you call God. I feel that the power that which is the higher power and the most high that everybody refers to as God is greater than the concept of a God. I feel like that's too mediocre. I feel like the word God is just too mediocre for the power that which is that real energy. You feel what I'm saying? So, I call it this. This is what I call it. I call the concept of God or the idea and the energy, the ideology, I call it supernatural, supernova, willpower, authority figure within myself. That which is the master of creation, right? That's how I identify God. If I want to identify it as English words or any words in anything. Okay, so what is the name of this entity they're calling the God? Self, right? Well, self, right? Because if God creates the universe, is within you, then they're saying that God is self. Now, in the word self, S-E-L-F, you'll see the word elf. And if you take the S and put it behind the F, you'll see the word elves. Now, if you look at the word elves, you see E-L. E-L is a 7D vibrational word. These are actual creator entities, right? They're creator thoughts, they're creator energies. With that being said, elves are creator energies. Now, when you think of an elf, you think of a magical entity, a fairy, a malicious. They call them malicious. So even though they gave us in the Santa Claus movies growing up, they fed our subconscious mind the idea that elves are just benevolent, but in actuality, it was reverse psychology. With that being said, they would be the God that a lot of the people is referring to as God, right? So let's not give our energy to energies or entities that don't deserve our power no more, okay? That's what I'm saying. Let's stop giving people power that don't need it. For instance, the people that was running the planet, they ain't running the planet no more. We are running the planet now because we have a higher vibrational collective consciousness, and we're manifesting some more beautiful timelines right now, and it's only at the beginning. It's only at the beginning, and that's why it may appear to be a lot of ugliness happening, because that ugliness has to appear before the beautiful can manifest. You know what I'm saying? But the trick is a God knows how to basically create his own reality, so a God knows to see the beauty in everything. You feel what I'm saying? I do believe in a higher force and a bigger power, but I do know that it's not God. It's greater than that. Okay? So, in a nutshell, we are conscious awareness, ethereal or eternal intelligence. But this can also manifest as us being unconscious awareness, eternal intelligence, respectfully. It just depends on your perspective. So here's a question I'm asking myself. If there is a difference between animate and inanimate, what is it? The reason I'm saying if there is a difference because the observable universe is an illusion, and this is a known scientific fact. Based on scientific perspective, everything is matter and energy. That being said, inanimate is the same as animate, just like finite is the same as infinite. Okay? By definition, in 3D perspective, based on what animate and inanimate means, there appears to be a slight difference, and that is that the animate object is more intelligent than the inanimate object because it can decide to grow. But growth is illusion in essence, that which is limited. Nothing grows. It expands, transforms, transfers, transitions, in other words, shapeshift. Okay? So the truth is that it's our ego personality which desires to identify with the concept of separation. In actuality, it's just perspective. Separation doesn't exist. The absolute truth is that the universe is God and God is the universe, because they're both everything and everyone at the same time. Let me say that again. You feel what I'm saying? The absolute truth is that the universe is God and is the universe, because they're both everything and everyone at the same time. The inanimate and the animate is the same thing. The point is this, y'all. There are so many ways we could take to finding ourselves, but everybody's gone to the same destination. Everybody's going to the same place. Only thing is different is just how we get there. But we're all, no matter what path you want, we're all trying to do the same thing. And that's identify and freaking get to know. That's know the power and authority that is vested within ourselves. That's that. You feel what I'm saying? So there's no difference, right? There's no difference. So animate is a piece of a pair of self that experiences the outer reality perspective. That's what animate is, right? Inanimate is that same piece of pair of a self that experiences the inner reality perspective. So literally, they're the same human. So you take it, for example, let's take a human. Let's take a human body, and let's identify this as the animate object that experiences the outer reality of existence, okay? Now, inside this human's heart is, therefore, the universe. You feel what I'm saying? Their own song of their own heart that vibrates to whatever octave that they choose to experience at that exact moment. So inside the heart of that animate object is the inanimation of the experiences of the inner reality perspectives. But you can't see the inanimate because it's inanimate. You can only just see the animate. But it's the same thing.
1 minute remaining.
There's nothing to argue about. I feel like God, in this case, is an authoritative figure, so it would be safe to say that faith is God. For example, the human body is a microscopic outer perspective of the universe, and the universe source God within itself. The whole concept is to introduce the idea that the consciousness and the authority that which is source God universe is within you. This is your entire song, and you are the composer of it, and that is in your natural state of being. You inanimate that which creates, but it is also you, the animated that which creates. So it is only you on your own perspective which creates a difference. Ashe, I love y'all, man. Have a good day out there. Have a good week out there. Peace. I'm gone.